What's happening, people? Welcome back to the Sound Design channel. My name is La, and today I'm going to go over a really lovely deep organic bass. I need to apologize, I do have a cold. I'm coming out the end of a cold, so I'm a bit bunged up, but I hope you can kind of ignore that and just take in the information. So yeah, let's get into the video. I was getting a bit carried away with the mod wheel, but I want to show you that as well in the sound design. So there's quite a bit to go over. So what I'm going to do in this video is not make the things from scratch, but I'm just going to go into detail about the things in this bass layer here. So it's 3 things in this bass group, because actually the sound itself is very simple. It might sound complex, but it's very simple. I think we'll start with the main layer, which is this sub, which is more than a sub, but yeah. Okay, so what I've got going on here, let's have a look in DIVA. The sound itself is taken from, let me make it a bit bigger. There we go, nice and big. So it's taken from the new Organica 2 pack, which was a follow-up from one of my favorite packs from Production Music Live, and they made some really nice DIVA presets. This is the one that I chose, this BA Azure. And I may have simplified it a little bit, but all we have going on with the sound is I can even just turn this off. It's not doing anything. So it's literally just a sawtooth on this 16. There's no modulation with like the FM or anything like that. It's literally just a sawtooth essentially. There's a little bit of magic going on with this high pass filter, which is on this boost mode. So if I just took this off, so it's a high pass filter, right? But if you put boost on, it gives it a little bit of meat to the low end. So it's like adding feedback essentially. All right, and then the actual envelopes, it's just as you can hear, it's like quite a plucky sound, but it's also quite sustained. So the amp envelope 1 is quite sustained. So when the notes are being held down, they're gonna sustain. But then we have a nice bit of attack with this envelope 2. So this envelope 2 has got this plucky shape, really quick attack, low sustain, and a little bit of decay. So if we take away the envelope 2, you'll hear that it's not very attacky or plucky. Right, so we want that bite. And what makes it nice and interesting is if you engage velocity and key tracking with these things. So if you do different things with velocity, or you're playing different notes with the bass, you're going up and down the scale, the bass is going to react to that. So it's going to feel really organic and natural. Also the same here with key tracking on the filter envelope. So we've got key tracking on the envelopes, and then we've got the key tracking on the filter as well. So it's all going to just kind of breathe as we're moving up and down the keyboard. That is actually all that's going on with this sound. There's a little bit of something else here, which I'm going to go over, I think, at the end, which is just a mod wheel modulation on this cutoff filter. But I'm going to show you how you can play around with that, which is very simple to do, but maybe you might not know how to do that. So we're going to go into that in a second, but I'll just show you the other layers and a bit of the processing on this. So what I've done with this is I wanted it to be nice and deep, but it was very subby with that boost on, so I just dipped a little bit in the sub, and then I exaggerated a little bit here in the high end, about 1K. So you get that nice kind of air to the sound. Yeah, you get that really nice bite. Don't want too much of it, but just a little bit of that. A little bit of compression. So the compression is going to be knocking down the initial transient a little bit and fattening the sound. So when that first kind of bite comes in, it's just being controlled a little bit and tamed a little bit with the compressor. We've got bass mono on. This is actually not doing anything now, but previously I had chorus on here. We can actually take this off now because the whole sound is in mono up until this point here and all the way through this channel. But I do have some side information which I'm going to go over in a sec. The other thing that I'm doing here, and I am using a third-party plugin for this, but you can use like a multi-band compressor within Ableton, but I'm using the Pro MB. And all I'm doing for this is I'm getting this bass to duck every time this bass stab comes through. So this one here. It's like a kind of 808 deep stab, and obviously it's sitting in the same area as this bass, so I want them to talk with each other and not get in the way. I have made sure that the notes aren't in the same place, but obviously they're going to carry over a little bit, so I don't want them to interfere, especially like here. So yeah, all you do for that is you set up a side chain, so the same as you would. In fact, I'm going to show you on a normal multiband in case you don't have Pro MB. It'd be the same thought process. So we have multiple bands, right? And the reason I'm not doing a normal compressor is because I just want the subby low end to be affected. And so you set up the side chain. So the same here, there's side chain. You set it up to bass, whatever you want to send it to. So it'll be the stab group. And then you're going to set up what frequency you want to dip. So we want this low frequency to dip, and you put it in the red. So now it's going to stab. It's going to push this bass sound out the way whenever this stab comes in. It's going to do it twice. I'll take that off. So that's helping that stab to come through nice and clear by doing that. You can make the ratio higher if you want, like that. So it'll be really strong like this. And you can play with the attack and release, but for me I like using the Pro MB. It's just a lot clearer and easier to see. That's the only reason really why I use it. It's nice and visual, so you can see that bass stab coming in here, and then you can see that it's ducking out the way. If you have Pro MB and you're wondering how to do this, you put it on compression, you go on this expert mode, and you go on external, so the external signal coming in. The external signal is wherever you set it to. Actually need to put this onto the group. It won't make much difference, but yeah, onto the group. And now we have the ratio is kind of high, and we want kind of a quick attack, and then you just play with the threshold for how strong you want it to be. It's important that you take care of things like that, because you're going to have just more headroom in the end in the mixing and mastering process, and it's also going to make things kind of talk with each other and breathe around each other rather than them just interfering with each other. The other bit of processing is just a side chain here. I use this Duck Buddy just because it's really nice and aggressive, so you get a nice strong side chain and it doesn't have any click. So that's what I'm using. So it's just, you can use any side chain you want, LFO tool, normal compressor, whatever you want to use. But yeah, it's just a standard side chain to the kick. Okay, so the last thing I want to show is the return channel. So we have a reverb with a convolution reverb. So it's just like a real space that's being replicated. We've got a little bit of decay, so it's not a big space, just a little bit of reverb just to add this nice kind of depth to the sound. And then we have chorus, which I've put through at 100%. I do this quite a lot, and I always question whether I should put this much chorus on something, but it sounds so good. So yeah, I've got this chorus set up on another return channel, and it's at 100% wet, and then it's on this ensembler. I've put a little bit of a filter on it, so I'm not getting any of the low end, but then I've doubled down on that because I really don't want any of this sub to be very stereo. I want it more to be like kind of the mid frequencies. So I'm going to show you with this on and off, and you're going to hear like a big difference, I think. It's still nice. It's still a nice bass. I'll put these on. Especially with that reverb, it just adds that lovely bit of space in there. Really important thing to note though is that I am EQing on both. I'm side chaining on both, so the side chain again to the kick afterwards. So it's making sure that once I'm adding that space, so with chorus, with reverb, it's going to add more time to the sound with the decay tails. So I want to make sure that the kick is still punching through each time. Otherwise you're going to have little problems later on. It's just like a good way of having a cleaner sound essentially.
Hi, this video is sponsored by us. If you like these tutorials and want to support the channel, check out our website packed with online courses and professional sample packs. Also check our ready-to-use and club-tested DIVA presets. You can browse by the genre and style you're looking for, or get the incredible deal with the full DIVA preset bundle. Thank you for listening, and now let's get back to your tutorial.
Okay, cool. So that is the main sound, this kind of sub here. But then these bits here are 2 layers. So we have a bass stab. Again, very simple sound. This is taken from that pack again, but I think I might have modified it and made it a little bit more simple. But it's this organic 2 BA Orchid. And this is just a sine wave with this boost on. So it's very simple. And then it just has a, very similar settings. We got a closed cutoff, a little bit of sustain, and then this kind of plucky shape for the attack of the sound. And that's what's giving me this nice kind of sub stab. Nothing too crazy going on with it, and I don't want it to be too crazy. I just want a nice meaty stab. And then I've layered that with a bongo sound, or a congo, whatever it is. Oh. I think I'm panning it as well, so it's moving left and right. This is, just a conga taken from the same pack. So it's this one here. And I think I might have detuned it down 5 semitones. And I am just isolating a certain area. So rather than listening to all of that, I kind of just wanted this area here, because I have other things that are sitting in this area. A little bit of width, a little bit of overdrive, a little bit of compression. And that is it. That's all that this sound is. So all together you get this nice fat bass sound. Okay, so the last thing I want to show is, you can probably hear there's a pitch bend within this sound. And I'm going to show you this with the mod wheel modification. So with the pitch bend, if you ever do pitch bend on things, I mean, obviously you can go to whatever range you like, but it's quite nice to go up a full octave. So I put this to 12, which is an octave above. I could go down. Oh no, I can't go down because this is up. But if you went on down, you would go to 12 as well. And it's quite nice to do full octaves or maybe fifths. But you can do whatever range you like and get creative. But it's important that you look here first and see what range you've got. And then, so remember before we were talking about this mod wheel thing? The way that you see this modification is you need to click into the MIDI clip, and then click this, and then you click on MIDI control, and you can see all of your modifications. There's loads that you could choose from. But we have pitch bend here, so I've done a pitch bend at the end of these little phrases here. Oh, let's start it from here. Right, adds a nice bit of character. And then the mod wheel thing we're going to do now. So I'm going to just do this live, and I highly recommend that you do this if you've got a mod wheel. So this is like a wheel on my keyboard. And so what I'll do, always click this plus sign, otherwise it will go over the MIDI. We arm the channel, and then we just press record, and I'm just going to play around with the mod wheel. And it's good if you do quite a long performance, because that way you're going to have some nice variants. So I'll just unsolo everything, and we'll have a listen and just have a play. Oh, make sure you press record. Alright, really nice. It's nice and organic. It's moving a lot. It doesn't get boring. You're always kind of waiting to see what the next movement will be. And it's really easy. All I'm doing is just moving up and down on my mod wheel and just kind of feeling the right moment to do it. If you mess up, like I think I went a bit too far on some of them, obviously just click into the clip, go on mod wheel, and I think like maybe it was like here, it just was a bit too crazy. You can see. maybe not. It was like one of these end things. I think maybe here. It's pretty fun, pretty nice. I'm going to leave it. But yeah, if you ever mess up, obviously you can just take it away. And I think you can simplify the envelope. Can I click? Ooh. Simplify envelope, and it's just going to make it so there's less dots, so it's a lot easier for you to move things around. So then you can just like move things however you want them to be. Cool. So I hope this was helpful for you guys. If it was, make sure that you comment down below, leave a like, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on any more of our content. Also check out the link so you can grab this pack that I've just been showing. And that's it, guys. Thank you very much. I'll catch you in the next one.